$800. That is what one of the most famous air purifier brands in America was charging people for a machine that lost a long list of advertising claims in front of the National Advertising Division. Every single claim they made about killing germs, destroying viruses, eliminating pollutants, NAD looked at the science and said, "You cannot prove any of this." The company took down the claims, kept selling the machine, and 4 years later filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The purifier still shows up in my comments, people asking me if it is worth it. I have been telling you. The answer to indoor air quality is a standalone HEPA purifier sitting in the room where you spend the most time. Not a fancy Mervy filter in your return. Not an induct ionizer your contractor wants to sell you for $800. A standalone box with a HEPA filter and a fan. Simple, cheap, works. What I never told you is which brands. Today we fix that. 5 air purifier brands you should never buy, why they are scams, what the lawsuits say. Then I name the 3 brands that actually move particles out of your air. And at the end, one question that exposes every fake HEPA box on the shelf. Number 1. Molekule. Molekule launched in 2016 with a beautiful aluminum cylinder and a price tag near $800. The technology was called PECO, stands for photoelectrochemical oxidation. They claimed it destroyed pollutants at the molecular level, killed mold, killed bacteria, killed VOCs, killed allergens. The marketing was everywhere. Influencers had them. Tech publications loved them. Then independent testing started. Wirecutter ran controlled tests and found the Molekule failed at basic particle removal, compared to a Coway purifier 1/3 the price. Consumer Reports ran their own tests. Same finding. The Molekule was the worst performing purifier they tested in its size class. Dead last. Then in 2019, Dyson filed a challenge with the National Advertising Division over Molekule's marketing. NAD investigated the claims Molekule was making. Pollution elimination, comparative superiority over HEPA, allergy and asthma relief. NAD found none of it had sufficient scientific support. Molekule was told to discontinue the claims. That is not engineering, that is a brochure with a power cord. Then came the class actions, multiple consumer fraud cases, and in October 2023, Molekule filed Chapter 11, bankruptcy. Court filings showed $47 million in debts against $11 million in assets. The machines are still being sold. The brand got acquired. The PECO technology is still being marketed like none of this happened. If you own one of these, you did not buy a purifier. You bought a story. Number 2, Ionic purifiers. Ionic Breeze. Ionic Pro. Anything with the word Ionic on the box. This is the oldest scam in the air purification industry, and it is still on Amazon today. The Sharper Image Ionic Breeze sold over 3 million units in the early 2000s, $300 to $500 a piece. They worked by releasing charged ions into the air. The ions attach to dust particles. The particles fall onto a metal collector plate inside the unit. No fan, no filter. Quiet, sleek. Sold on infomercials morning to night. Consumer Reports tested them in 2003 and said the Ionic Breeze was ineffective. Sharper Image sued Consumers Union for libel. They lost. The court threw it out, and Sharper Image had to pay over $500,000 in legal fees. Then came the real problem. Ozone. Every ionizer that releases charged ions also produces ozone as a byproduct. Ozone in your living space irritates the lungs, triggers asthma, damages mucous membranes. The EPA has been warning people for 2 decades not to buy air cleaning devices that produce ozone indoors. Period. Sharper Image settled a consumer class action by offering $19 store credits to 3.2 million customers. $19. For a $500 machine that made your air worse. The company filed bankruptcy in 2008. Here's the part that should make you angry. Ionic Breeze, Ionic Pro, a dozen knockoff ionizer brands, still being sold on Amazon and at warehouse clubs right now. Same technology, same ozone problem, new packaging. If the box says Ionic, Ionizer, or Fresh Air Ionization, put it back on the shelf. Number 3. HEPA-type purifiers. Brands like Toppin, Aeroeve, Cloudy, Druyap. Walk the Amazon bestseller list, and half of them are in this category. Go to the air purifier section on Amazon right now. You will see 50 units priced between $30 and $90. Most of them have a single word on the box that decides whether they actually work or not. HEPA, with no qualifier, is the regulated term. A genuine HEPA filter must capture 99.97% of airborne particles at 0.3 microns. That is a published standard. If it says true HEPA, it has been tested against that standard. Now here's the trick. HEPA type, HEPA style, HEPA-like, HEPA quality. None of those are HEPA. They are marketing words designed to look like HEPA on a quick scroll through a listing. A HEPA-type filter might capture 60 or 70% of particles in the same size range, some less. There is no required test. The filter media inside is thin polyester that costs the manufacturer about $1 to produce. The unit looks like a Coway. The price looks like a deal. And the box says HEPA type, in small letters, in a corner. You bought a box fan with a fancy grill on the front. Here is how to spot them. Real HEPA purifiers display an AHAM CADR certification on the front of the box. AHAM is the Association of Home Appliance Manufacturers. CADR stands for Clean Air Delivery Rate. The badge has 3 numbers, one for smoke, one for pollen, one for dust. No badge on the box? Put it back. The shelf is full of these. $40 at a time, millions of American homes running a plastic box that does almost nothing. Different packaging every year. Same scam. Number 4, Dyson. The whole Dyson air purifier line. Dyson does use a true HEPA filter. The filter media is real. The certification is real. So why is it on the never buy list? Because the numbers do not work. Dyson sells their tower purifier between $500 and $800 depending on the model. The CADR rating on the most tested Dyson PureCool model came in around 160 cubic meters per hour in independent testing. The Levoit-Core 400S, which retails around $200, hits a CADR over 270 on smoke. A Coway Air Mega Mighty at $180 hits about 240. A $200 box beats an $800 tower on the only measurement that actually matters: particle removal per hour. Then there is filter cost. Dyson replacement filters run $60 to $90 a piece, recommended every 6 to 12 months. Coway runs about $50 a year. Levoit runs about $40. Across 5 years of ownership, the Dyson cost roughly $1,000 more than the Coway, for less actual filtration. What you are paying for is the air quality monitor on the screen, the bladeless fan design, the heating and cooling integration on the higher models, and the name on the box. You are not paying for cleaner air per dollar. You are paying for furniture that happens to have a filter inside. If you bought one because you like how it looks in your living room, fine. Just understand you paid a 400% markup for 90% of the performance. Number 5, ozone generators sold as air purifiers. Brands like Enerzen, Airtheral, Alpine Air. You will find them on Amazon with 5-star reviews and names that sound medical. This one is the worst of the 5. Not because it is useless, because it is actively harmful. An ozone generator is a small electronic device that produces ozone gas, the same gas that triggers asthma attacks and irritates lung tissue, and pumps it into your living space on purpose. They are sold on Amazon, at warehouse clubs, at some hardware stores. Brand names rotate every year. Some are marketed as ozone generators. Others are sold as commercial air purifiers, hotel deodorizers, smoke remediation devices. The EPA has been saying the same thing for decades. A safe level of ozone does not clean your air. A level of ozone that cleans your air is not safe to breathe. That is not me talking. That is the EPA. The California Air Resources Board has banned the sale of ozone generators that exceed 0.05 parts per million for indoor use. Other states are following. Manufacturers get around the rules by slapping a commercial label on the same device. Some bedrooms in this country have an ozone generator running every night because somebody on a forum said it helps with allergies. Think about that. A machine pumping lung irritant into the room where you sleep. 8 hours a night, because a stranger on the internet told you to. If you have one, unplug it tonight. Hit subscribe. The air purifier industry does not want this list out there. 500 on a Molekule, 800 on a Dyson, 300 on an Ionic breeze. That is a lot of money pulled out of American living rooms for filtration that did not happen. Now, before I give you the 3 brands that actually work, 2 specs. Once you know these 2 numbers, every scam in this category falls apart instantly. First, true HEPA. Technical name HEPA H13 or H14 in European classification. The American standard requires 99.97% capture at 0.3 microns. That is the hardest particle size to catch. If a filter grabs 99.97% of those, it catches almost everything bigger and smaller too. True HEPA is mechanical filtration. Air pushes through dense fiber media. Particles physically get trapped. No ions, no ozone, no chemistry, just physics. Second, CADR, clean air delivery rate, measured in cubic meters per hour or cubic feet per minute. This tells you how fast the unit moves clean air through a room. Higher number equals faster particle removal. AHAM certifies this through independent third-party testing. That badge on the front of the box with 3 numbers: smoke, pollen, dust. Quick rule of thumb: take your room square footage, multiply by 1.5. That is roughly the CADR you need for 2 air changes per hour. 200 square foot bedroom needs about 300 CADR. 400 square foot living room needs about 600. No true HEPA filter and no AHAM Catter badge. You are not looking at a real air purifier. Walk away. 2 specs. That is all it takes. Now the 3 brands that actually earn those numbers. Number 1, Coway. Specifically the Coway Air Mega Mighty AP 1512HH or the newer Air Mega 200M Mighty 2. Coway is a Korean company. Been making air purifiers for over 30 years. The Mighty has been the top-rated mid-sized HEPA purifier in independent testing for the better part of a decade. Wirecutter top pick, Consumer Reports top pick, House Fresh top pick. Every independent testing house puts it at or near the top. True HEPA H13 filter. AHAM Catter certified. Smoke around 240, pollen around 250, dust around 240. Real numbers. Third-party tested. Handles rooms up to about 360 square feet. Retail price: $180 to $220 depending on color and current sales. Replacement filter runs about $50 and lasts a year. Pre-filter is washable, lasts the life of the unit. This is what I tell people when they want one purifier in the bedroom or living room and they want it to work. $200 up front, $50 a year. Done. Number 2, Austin Air HealthMate, or HealthMate Plus. Different animal than the Coway. Austin Air units are oversized cylindrical purifiers built around a massive carbon and HEPA filter combination. The HealthMate has 15 pounds of activated carbon and zeolite mixed in with the HEPA media. That carbon is what removes smoke, chemical odors, VOCs, gases. Standard HEPA-only units do not touch gases. Austin Air does. Made in Buffalo, New York. Steel cabinet, not plastic. The filter lasts 5 years under normal use. 5 years of 24-hour-a-day operation before you swap it. Retail price between $600 and $750 for the HealthMate. Plus, model runs closer to $800. Replacement filter is about $250 every 5 years. That is $50 a year amortized for a unit that runs around the clock for half a decade. If you live in wildfire country, if you have chemical sensitivity, if somebody in the house smokes, if your air quality problem is odor, not just dust, Austin Air. The Coway will not touch what the HealthMate handles on the carbon side. Steel cabinet, 5-year filter, made in America. This is the lifetime list version of an air purifier. Number 3, IQ Air Health Pro Plus, premium tier, top of the entire category. IQ Air is Swiss. The Health Pro Plus is what hospitals use, what clean rooms use, what allergy clinics put in patient rooms. The Hyper HEPA filter inside captures particles down to 0.003 microns. That is 10 times smaller than the true HEPA standard requires. The filter media is German. The assembly is Swiss. Every individual unit is performance tested at the factory before shipping with a signed test certificate in the box. Rated for rooms up to about 1,100 square feet at 2 air changes per hour. That is a whole open plan first floor on one unit. Retail between $800 and $900. HEPA filter runs about $200 and lasts 4 to 5 years. Pre-filter about $90, 18 months. Carbon filter about $150, 2 years. This is the unit you buy when somebody in the house has a respiratory diagnosis. Asthma, COPD, severe allergy, compromised immune system. The performance gap between IQ Air and a standard true HEPA unit is real for those cases. For a healthy household, the Coway is enough. When breathing is medical, IQ Air is the answer. 3 tiers, 200, 700, 900. Every American household has a price point on this list. Now here's the one question I want you to take with you. Walk into any store, online or in person. Pick up any air purifier on the shelf. Look at the front of the box. Find the AHAM CADR certification badge, the one with 3 numbers: smoke, pollen, dust. If it is there, the unit has been third-party tested. The CADR claim is real. The HEPA claim is verified. If it is not there, the manufacturer chose not to submit the unit for independent testing. And that tells you everything about whether the filter inside that box does what the marketing says. The Scam Products video already covered why I do not recommend induct UV lights, bipolar ionization, REME halo, or any contractor-installed air purification add-on. Those go in your HVAC system, and they do not work the way they are sold. Today was about the standalone purifier in your bedroom. Different product, different scams, same pattern of taking your money for filtration that is not happening. The filter video already covered MERV. MERV8 in your HVAC filter slot to protect your equipment. Standalone HEPA in the room where you sleep to clean your air. 2 different jobs. The industry has been confusing them on purpose for a decade. What air purifier do you have in your house right now? Drop the brand in the comments. I will tell you what it is actually doing, and whether the AHAM badge is on the box. And if you got talked into a Molekule, an Ionic Pro, or an Ozone generator, drop that too. I want to know which scam is still circulating the hardest. $800 for a brochure, $200 for a real filter doing real work. The shelf has been counting on you not reading the front of the box.